You see this a lot, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, blah blah blah. You see this a lot with like certain guys, right? And I'll just bring up Wes Watson, like the most recent example of this, is that there's a distinction between men, among all men, to be fair, right? Like on an individual case by case basis, this isn't like a duality or a separation like right down the middle. Like every single man on this planet is responsible for their actions. But when you have men who viciously try to hide their true motives and like justify it retrospectively with you know feelings or as they would say uh, selective outrage, and you have shit slingers. I know you guys are gonna love my intro, man. It's never gonna go away. Oh yeah, check out this Subnautica Below Zero gameplay. I actually died. I can't believe. I thought I was a gamer. Guess not. Oh, you know what actually gets to me? Like for some reason, they have like this onboard AI control thing, and instead of having like this just like monotone like voice or some British guy, it's some like Indian accent lady. I'm like, what the fuck? Yo, props to Sony, man. I ain't paying for this. Props to Sony, dog. Handed me up this game on PlayStation Plus for free, man. I'm telling you, man, Sony is one of the best companies out there. I'm a big ass Sony pony. I'm probably gonna make a video about that later. More to the point, right? So Wes Watson wants to be a man, but he's always, like I said, retrospectively correcting, his whatever. Like, okay, my height isn't like five something, right? And he was like standing next to Jack Doherty or something, and then he's like, "Yeah, man, you're not like this height. I'm only like five something." I'm like, oh shit, eh? Holy shit. And then like, later on he's like, threatening to beat his woman, this, that. And like this is what I was getting at, right? Like people are going to turn their noses up at you and say, "Hey, look, you can't be messing around with like all these girls and shit. You gotta pick one and like, do right by her and her family and shit." And then you'll see what's gonna happen as the end result of that is you take your kid to school. He's gonna be surrounded, or she's gonna be surrounded with all these fucking retards and shit. And you can't mince words. We don't mince words, okay? Make no mistake. The parents of these kids who aren't your kids, like, was it 1 out of 3, like maybe 50% of them are gonna be fucking retarded, dude. And like, take no further look at to the reason why that is, then the tablets, then the cell phones, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. And it kind of makes me feel ashamed to say this, but I have a deep hatred of cell phones and tablets, mostly because of it's like a career ending choice for me, because I've seen so many of my colleagues, even like acquaintances, come up to me. It's like, "Hey, wouldn't you like to develop mobile games?" And like to that that's like suicide. Like growing up playing console games, you plug it into a TV or turn on a computer, like that to me is how you play video games, not picking up a cell phone and playing some cheap variation, like a watered down version of it. To be fair though, I understand the appeal of it, like take your game anywhere type shit, but like, you know what I mean? Like gaming is for like when you're home or with your friends and shit, and when you're outside you could do outside shit, right? Like, would you want to go swimming in an Arctic Ocean below zero? No? Okay, then play video games. Or you could go to Antarctica if you got the balls. You probably won't have your balls after that, though. You know what's messed up about the Antarctica, though? For some reason, of all the places on this planet, you'd think you find the most dangerous parasites in some like tropical, some places off of New Zealand or around Australia, the Philippines or whatever, right? Like those like dangerous spots with like those was it the man of wars and those crazy ass jellyfishes that like can fucking kill you and shit. No, in Antarctica, there's these fucking like small ass, and they're super small, like they're so fucking small. Holy fuck, it's nightmare fuel. And they're just swimming around the water like these lobster ass looking things. And there's these sharks called I think they're gray sharks or whatever. They're like very low metabolism. They're weird. I think was that like a basking shark or something shit like that. Anyways, um, like a Greenland shark. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. And these things jump right into their fucking eyes. Oh, what the fuck? And then they live in their eyes because these sharks have a lifespan of like something like 200 plus years. Yeah, no joke. Fuck, dude. Imagine being blind for 200 plus. Fuck, dude. No. Fuck, man. I'd rather play Subnautica below zero. Thank you, Sony. I appreciate my eyesight. But like, yo, man, trying to be something that he's not. Like, all the cars that he has is rented. His lifestyle is like, false. The reason he's getting all these tattoos is to cover up his bald ass head and shit. All these motherfuckers are using like Rogaine, using steroids, using all this fake ass shit. And it's like, what a bitch boy this guy is, right? He's trying to call people out to come fight him and shit, and then he gets his mans to jump this guy, and then he's getting sued in jail and shit, right? Because the guy doesn't want to pursue it criminally; he wants to pursue it in civil court. So he's taking him to the bank basically and cashing him the fuck out. And we gotta bring this up because how are we living in a world with so many fake ass men, and then people got a problem with the way you fucking conduct yourself, right? Like for me personally, I don't suggest anybody does this, but it's like I'm pretty flamboyant. I like to wear what I like to wear. I like to dress the way I like to dress. And at the end of the day, I can sleep well with myself knowing that if I'm walking down that dark alley corner and you can see me like, illuminated somewhat, like you could just see like the lipstick, the nail polish, whatever, right? Like you're not going to feel threatened. Like nobody feels threatened by me, right? Nobody feels threatened by me. The problem is though, is that these guys, they have no inner monologue. They have no core identity. So you can take a guy, whatever, he has his fuck boy starter pack and throw him in like a fucking crowd of other guys, and he's like, it's like, where's Waldo? Where's the fucking retard? And these guys, they want to have kids. Like a lot of them do have kids. I'm not here to play God and say, look, we should eradicate all these people. But I'm saying, like, yo, when you take your kids to school, just make sure, you let them know, man. Not everybody's parents are the same as your parents. Maybe it's not a good idea to have your kids go over to play in somebody else's house. So, like, to be fair, if you know these people and, like, whatever, you're just, like, trustworthy, more trustworthy than me, then, like, fine, right? And I'm not trying to, like, scapegoat or fearmonger you, but I've seen videos that I don't think the public wants you to see. I've seen videos of like straight up migrants, like fresh off the boat retards, running through France, going into like what is that, middle lower income housing, and grabbing, like bursting through doors, grabbing up kids when their moms are like holding on to them. And I'm watching this play out. I'm like, how the fuck are we not like talking about this more? Like how is it that a man who like full on tries to kidnap girls like this, and this isn't the first time, it's all around Europe. And I'm gonna say it, the European men who allowed this to happen need to be replaced. They're women, they're beautiful, and they can do better, much better, and we could do better by them. You understand what I'm saying? Like this isn't a fucking game anymore. I'm not playing um second guessing nothing. This is like how I actually feel about this. Like obviously, like I'm gonna find a woman and she might change my mind, and I'm open to that. But the way the world is, um, I just don't see how everybody wearing the shoe and having their family and kids is going to be beneficial to the human race. I think we need to start replacing these kinds of people fast and hard. And I think there's multiple ways we can do this. Number one, you have to educate yourself and embed yourself with technology, almost to the point where it can allow you to do things that the other generations could not do. So let's say for me, something as simple as game design, but then like you can elevate it and like use 3D printing for proof of concept, use wind tunnels, whatever, right? Like what I'm saying, like you can make drones, you can make I don't know, boats, some sorts of transport for like items and stuff to deliver goods. Like a lot of companies are thinking about. I don't know if it's going to be a 100% thing, but they're thinking about sending out like drones instead of these delivery robots, because the delivery robots, like they were just testing them out, prototyping them, and then yeah, they're just going to be flying around everywhere. Now, when I say flying around everywhere, most likely they're going to get hit by birds or some shit like that, or someone's going to throw rocks at it, or like whatever, right? So most likely it's going to be like a case where it's going to use something that's pre-existing, or they're just going to make something like you're going to have some sort of like suspension line on, like, I don't know, traffic lights or some shit like that, and they'll just like tie it around, and you have like these things that travel on these cords and shit to like deliver packages to people's houses. And then that'll be like the future of, like, online shopping and shit. It's like instant fucking gratification. You don't have to leave your house, get everything delivered, your hardware tools, your food, your, whatever, clothes, everything. But that's the distinction we have to make, because these guys, right, who are vying to control the world have no plans for it. They have no future vision. Like, if you look at a place like Cuba, right? You have this psyop, this very propaganda piece for the dictator to sit in front of this, like, courtroom of people who are cheering him on, including air quotes Americans like Hassan, the faggot fuck. And it's all too often that you see this kind of regime where the stagnation of technology, like, you could even just go, like, as people were doing, like doing YouTube videos, just go through the cities and the streets and just see how antiquated everything is. It's just, you're just like, when you're just like, huh? I didn't even know, like, they still had this around, like VHSs, cassette tapes. You're just like tripping, you're like, what? Oh my god, blast in the past, man. But like, yeah, I mean, good on them if like that, if they're trying to, like, keep that retro scene going. But like, no, that's the day to day, right? And I'm not trying to say like that's like they haven't transitioned over to like other technology. I'm just saying that like majority of the people who live there don't have the money to do that. So when you're seeing those rich ass people, those are people who are, close to the government, who are like, talking that propaganda piece. Like, Hassan himself has literally become an empty shell, literally just like pushing for the downfall of America, Americans, heterosexuality, the modern family. And that's why, in response to retards like him, his bloodline, this entire nation, that's why I say to all men, if you're gonna afford it, go out there and replace these motherfuckers. Trust me when I tell you, the women will not only allow you to do that, but they'll be grateful. Obviously, this is the distinction we have to make between us and them. Okay? We ask their permission, and if they say no, we listen to them. That's the distinction we make between us and them. They're in control. This bullshit where, okay, I see a solution to this problem, right? Now, I'm willing to admit that I could be wrong about this. Now, if she's willing to accept it, then that's how it's going to be. But if she says, no, this is wrong, then that's how it's going to be. Do you understand? Like, this is the difference between us. What's the opposite of that, right? You have guys who they assume, right? Oh, girls like me because I'm on the right side of history, or I'm like, I have this much money, or I have a six pack, or I have my hair. Meanwhile, it's a fucking Rogaine toupee ass hair transplant off your fucking backside, off your fucking ass crack and shit. Gotta fucking shampoo it for days. All right, come back tomorrow. Be ready. In the case of Hassan, that would probably be like a 1-to-1. He just like fucking graft his ass onto his head. That's why he has no gray hairs on his fucking scalp and shit. Bitch ass motherfucker. Yo, man, the Cuban people, they're like happy in their dance. This guy is such a fucking knob that he doesn't understand that the government was doing that on purpose, because they knew that you were coming. They knew that fucking fossil fuck who was trying to like speak in Spanish. Okay, everybody, we're going to Cuba. Yo, man, this is the distinction between us, because you're gonna be winding up with them ugly ass girls and shit, pretending like you're the better person. Meanwhile, back in the day, you were worse than us. Old enough to count, old enough to mount, ain't going away, faggot. You know, your whole peoples are gonna get blasted because of you. Blasted. They're gonna be like, oh look, it's these fuckers again. Just like this guy, just like that guy. Now is that fair? Abso-fucking-lutely. You've been doing it to like the other people. Like this is why one of the reasons why I'm flamboyant is because I want to stand out. I want to have a distinction between other people because all too often, specifically here in Brampton, all too often you have these guys and you can't tell them apart. Specifically the white people and like people outside the ethnicity, right? But it's also me too. Like I can't tell them apart either because they're so ubiquitous. They're so similar that they could just melt into the fucking crowd of retard and then they carry out crimes and shit. We have this like ride share motherfucker sexually assault apparently a man, but I think it's a woman, and the news is lying to us. The reason why I think the news is lying to us, and I'm willing to like admit if I'm wrong and shit, right? Is that not only did this shit happen a month ago, but it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like you don't want to show us the face. You don't want to like do anything about it. Like, don't you think there would have been other victims? It's a cover up. They're trying to, you know, basically cork a leaking dam. You know, it's still spilling through the seams. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. And the way they see it is like they're stressing out. Oh, this is so hard. You know, I have to defend my fucking pedophile ass race of people trying to like screw women and shit. The women don't want them. And like when these guys realize that their assumptions were wrong about the majority of the women in this world, they resort to violence. Hence why you have such a strong response against these protests in Iran. Technically speaking, it all started with that one girl who took off her hijab, had a picture of Khomeini, and set it on fire. And she will be more of a man and a human being than the rest of these fucking retard ass people who are pushing for the dictatorship and subsequent control of women and thus the human race. You're wrong in your assumptions. The distinction between us is they love us, they hate you. Or, I could be wrong. I mean, you guys have denims and Frogan, right?